Get ready for a thrilling Bible quiz challenge. In this video, we've prepared 35 fun trivia questions to test your knowledge of the scriptures. Let's get started. Question 1. How many books are there in the Old Testament? 29, 35, or 39? The answer is 39. The Old Testament has 39 books, which are divided into 4 general categories. 1. Books of law. 2. Historical books. 3. Poetic books. And 4. Prophetic books. Question 2. Who is the owner of the house in which the 2 spies Joshua sent stayed? Shittim, Rahab, or Sarah? The answer is Rahab. Joshua 2:1. So they went and entered the house of a prostitute named Rahab and stayed there. Rahab is a Canaanite and is always mentioned in the Bible as Rahab the harlot or loose woman. How many priests carried the trumpets of ram's horns in front of the ark while Joshua and the Israelites marched around the city of Jericho? The answer is 7. Joshua 6:4. Have 7 priests carry trumpets of ram's horns in front of the ark. How old was Eli before he died? 89, 95, or 98? The answer is 98. 1 Samuel 4:15. Who was 98 years old and whose eyes had failed so that he could not see? Eli died after a man had brought the news about the ark of God. He fell backward off his chair by the side of the gate and his neck was broken. What is the name of the son of Phinehas' wife? Hophni, Ichabod, or Icarus? The answer is Ichabod. 1 Samuel 4:21. She named the boy Ichabod. Ichabod means no glory, or the glory has departed from Israel. Who is the skilled craftsman sent by the king of Tyre to help in the construction of the temple as ordered by King Solomon? Benjamin, Hiram-Abi, or Eli? The answer is Hiram-Abi. 2 Chronicles 2:13. I am sending you Hiram-Abi, a man of great skill. The following are the fruits of the Holy Spirit except for charity, love, or faithfulness. The answer is charity. Galatians 5:22-23. But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, forbearance, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Against such things there is no law. Question 8. Peter stated that false teachers follow the way of this man as he loved the wages of wickedness. Who is this man? Emri, Bezer, or Balaam? The answer is Balaam. 2 Peter 2:15. They have left the straight way and wandered off to follow the way of Balaam, son of Bezer, who loved the wages of wickedness. What did King Solomon order to do with the baby brought to him, which was claimed by 2 different women to be the baby's mother? He ordered to give the baby to an orphanage, he ordered to sell the baby, or he ordered to cut the baby into half and give each half to each woman. The answer is, he ordered to cut the baby into half and give each half to each woman. 1 Kings 3:25. He then gave an order, cut the living children in 2, and give half to one and half to the other. Question 10. What is the last book in the Old Testament? Revelations, Malachi, or Matthew? The answer is Malachi. Malachi is a Hebrew word that means my messenger. The real name of the author of this book is unknown. Question 11. Who was Moses' aide that God had anointed to lead the Israelites to the Promised Land? Jacob, Isaac, or Joshua? The answer is Joshua. Joshua 1:1-2. After the death of Moses, the servant of the Lord said to Joshua, son of Nun, Moses' aide, Moses, my servant is dead. Now then, you and all these people get ready to cross the Jordan River into the land I am about to give to them, to the Israelites. Who said that no one can beat Joshua on all the days of his life? Moses, God, or Abraham? The answer is God. Joshua 1:5. No one will be able to stand against you all the days of your life. As I was with Moses, so I will be with you. I will never leave you nor forsake you. Question 13. When Joshua was near Jericho, he suddenly saw a man standing in front of him holding a Bible, sword, or rosary. The answer is sword. Joshua 5:13. Now when Joshua was near Jericho, he looked up and saw a man standing in front of him with a drawn sword in his hand. The man Joshua saw holding a sword was the commander of the army of the Lord. Question 14. According to the book of Genesis, what is the purpose of man in the Garden of Eden? To plant trees and fruits? To take care of it? Or to raise animals? The answer is to take care of it. Genesis 2:15. The Lord God took the man and put him in the Garden of Eden to work it and take care of it. Question 15. How old was Noah when water has dried up on the earth after the flood? 501, 601, or 701? The answer is 601. Genesis 5:13. By the first day of the first month of Noah's 601st year, the water had dried up from the earth. Noah then removed the covering from the ark and saw that the surface of the ground was dry. Question 16. In what book, chapter, and verse in the Bible is the shortest verse found? John 5:23, John 3:16, or John 11:35? The answer is John 11:35. John 11:35. Jesus wept. It is the shortest verse in the Bible in most English translations. Jesus wept because he experienced the same feelings as the people around him, such as sorrow. Question 17. How old was Joseph when he took care of the sheep and goats with his brothers? 15, 16, or 17? The answer is 17. Genesis 37:2. This is the account of Jacob's family line. Joseph, a young man of 17, was tending the flocks with his brothers, the sons of Bilhah and the sons of Zilpah. Question 18. What is the name of Joseph's brother who suggested not to kill him, but instead just throw him on a well in the wilderness? Levi, Reuben, or Simeon? The answer is Reuben. Genesis 37:21-22. When Reuben heard this, he tried to rescue him from their hands. Let's not take his life, he said. Don't shed any blood. Throw him into the cistern here in the wilderness, but don't lay a hand on him. Question 19. How old was Joseph when he died in Egypt? 90, 100, or 110? The answer is 110. Genesis 50:22. Joseph stayed in Egypt along with all his father's family. He lived 110 years. Question 20. How many months was Moses hidden after he was born? 2, 3, or 4? The answer is 3. Exodus 2:1-2. Now a man of the tribe of Levi married a Levite woman, and she became pregnant and gave birth to a son. When she saw that he was a fine child, she hid him for 3 months. Question 21. When Moses was still a baby, he was placed inside what type of basket and was put on reeds along the Nile River? Ribbed, crochet, or papyrus? The answer is papyrus. Exodus 4:3. But when she could hide him no longer, she got a papyrus basket for him and coated it with tar and pitch. Then she placed the child in it and put it among the reeds along the bank of the Nile. Question 22. Who led the tribes of Israel out of Egypt? Aaron and Moses, Jacob and Esau, or Abraham and Isaac? The answer is Aaron and Moses. Exodus 6:26. It was this Aaron and Moses to whom the Lord said, "Bring the Israelites out of Egypt by their divisions." Question 23. How old was Isaac when his wife Rebekah gave birth to their twin sons? 40, 50, or 60? The answer is 60. Genesis 25:26. Isaac was 60 years old when Rebekah gave birth to them. He was 40 years old when he married Rebekah. Question 24. What was the name of Abraham's last wife? Keturah, Kutare, or Keturah? The answer is Keturah. Genesis 25:1. Abraham had taken another wife, whose name was Keturah. Abraham and Keturah had 6 sons, namely Zimran, Jokshan, Medan, Midian, Ishbak, and Shua. Question 25. Abraham lived for how many years? 155, 165, or 175? The answer is 175. Genesis 25:7. Abraham lived 175 years. He died at a good old age, full of years, and was gathered to his people. Question 26. What is the meaning of the name Esau? Older, hairy, or grasps the heel? The answer is hairy. Genesis 25:25. The first to come out was red, and his whole body was like a hairy garment, so they named him Esau. Question 27. Esau became a skillful blank when he grew up. Farmer, hunter, or carpenter? The answer is hunter. Genesis 25:27. The boys grew up, and Esau became a skillful hunter, a man of the open country, while Jacob was content to stay at home among the tents. Question 28. Based on Joseph's dream, the sun, moon, and how many stars bowed to him? 11, 12, or 13? The answer is 11. Genesis 37:9. Then he had another dream, and he told it to his brothers. "Listen," he said, "I had another dream, and this time the sun and moon and 11 stars were bowing down to me." The 11 stars symbolized Joseph's 11 brothers, who would bow down to him in honor and for provisions. Question 29. What was the 4th plague that God sent on Egypt? The plague of frogs, the plague of flies, or the plague of boils? The answer is the plague of flies. Exodus 8:21. If you do not let my people go, I will send swarms of flies on you and your officials, on your people, and into your houses. The whole of Egypt was overrun by flies except the land of Goshen, where the Israelites lived. Question 30. The following are considered as one of the gospel books except Matthew, James, or John. The answer is James. The 4 gospel books are Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. These books tell us about the life, ministry, death, and resurrection of Jesus Christ. Question 31. By how many days and nights did Jonah stay inside the huge fish? 2 days and 3 nights? 3 days and 2 nights? Or 3 days and 3 nights? The answer is 3 days and 3 nights. Jonah 1:17. Now the Lord provided a huge fish to swallow Jonah, and Jonah was in the belly of the fish 3 days and 3 nights. Question 32. At what place did God order Jonah to go? Bethlehem, Judea, or Nineveh? The answer is Nineveh. John 1:2. Go to the great city of Nineveh and preach against it, because its wickedness has come up before me. Question 33. What kind of tree did Zacchaeus climb up to be able to see Jesus? Cedar, olive, or sycamore? The answer is sycamore. Luke 19:4. So he ran ahead and climbed a sycamore tree to see him, since Jesus was coming that way. In a parable told in the book of Matthew, how many virgins took their lamps and went out to meet the bridegroom? 5, 8, or 10? The answer is 10. Matthew 25:1. At that time, the kingdom of heaven will be like 10 virgins who took their lamps and went out to meet the bridegroom. Question 35. Who owns the house where Jesus had dinner with sinners and tax collectors? Aaron, Levi, or Jacob? The answer is Levi. Mark 2:15. While Jesus was having dinner at Levi's house, many tax collectors and sinners were eating with him and his disciples, for there were many who followed him. Alright, that's all the questions, so let us know how you scored in the comments down below. And be sure to share this video with your family and friends so that we can compare your scores against theirs. Have a good day.